Okay, so sorry about the end of that other video. It was a little rushed because I was running out of time. I panicked. Anyway, so um, a great technique that you can use when you're in the gallery when it comes to examining work is comparing two pieces. So let's say we're just looking at one isolated, the one on the right. Um, you might not be able to articulate yourself well because you're not used to looking at art. So what you can do is use two pieces on the wall beside each other to compare. Then you can tell the differences. Now, the cool thing about Purifoy's work is that everything looks different. So, and it's a lot of times pretty obvious at what he's trying to do. I would say some are more abstract and left up to the imagination, but it still doesn't leave you just completely like with that knee-jerk reaction of contemporary art where somebody just puts a piece of paper on the wall and they say it's art, and then you roll your eyes and walk away. Anyway, so if we look at some of Purifoy's work in the exhibition, you can start pointing out objects that you see, such as the piano in the mouth, the shape of this head, even like this turban-esque looking thing, right? And it creates a face, so it has like a Pablo Picasso-esque feel to it. Mr. Sherman, another teacher, even thought of it as one of the three musicians, which is a piece at the MoMA, beautiful piece by Picasso. Anyway, so you can see here, it's stitched together, right? Then you can also ask the question of, is this a painting or a sculpture or a collage? Like, some of you might think this is a collage. Some people might think that it's a sculpture based upon it being three-dimensional, right? But some people might read it as a painting because it's flat and it's on a wall. So these are the kind of questions that you can ask when you examine Purifoy's work to get underneath the hood of it, you know? Here's another outstanding piece. He had a background also in industrial design. He helped develop a stereo record player. I think it looks like a record player to me, but it's like um, a long box. What I'm trying to say. Yeah, I'm going to assume it's a record player. One that you would find in antiquity nowadays, from the 50s or 60s, something like that. Anyway, so what you'll notice is when you see his artwork is that it has this industrial design feel to it. It's seamless, very professional, very sharp. Nothing's left unhinged or unfinished unless he desired it to be that way. Some things are intentional. But what you can take into account when you see a piece like this, which is I think about 8 feet wide, ends up being, is its weight. It's very heavy. It looks very heavy, mounted on a wall. A lot of people thought of this as like giraffes, which I can see that now because like the necks would be here, you know, and then here would be the heads. Some people thought it was like hands up, you know. And going back to this piece that I rambled on at the end about. So this is Strange Fruit. It was a poem written by Abel Meeropol. And even though this might just be, you might look at this and not get much out of it, it has some really heavy implications. So the representation of being tarred and feathered, right? So this, you might think this is represents paint, which it does because this is painted black, but it also represents tar, right? And so the idea of shaming someone, running them out of town, and they would do this to blacks in the South. Furthermore, you can look at this as a shroud. So, like, which would be what would represent like a body bag. The shroud is what they wrapped Christ in. So this has like a shroud kind of feeling to it, these goose feathers. But then also, the direct or more literal translation of this Strange Fruit, once again, is a poem that turned into a song by Billie Holiday called Strange Fruit, which was originally written about the idea of a hanging. So a lynching and a hanging of a black man. So the black man or black woman or black child, whatever is represented in this tree, right, is the strange fruit. So it has some really heavy implications. And do yourself a favor to look up the song and listen to it. Strange Fruit by Billie Holiday. It's iconic, it's historical, it's relevant to the times now. So even though we looked at a lot of his work and it was play, as you could see in the Desert Museum, a lot of that stuff was play and he was having fun. Like, and now even though we're ending on a more somber, solid piece that is represented in the exhibition, I don't want you to go in feeling as if it's a heavy weighted show, something that you can't personally take something away from. If you happen to be, you know, from the suburbs or something like that. Like there's something in the show for everybody. So hopefully this presentation worked out quite well, and hope you all enjoyed the exhibition. Once again, I apologize that we haven't got to link up and hang out yet. So, but I think it'll be a party um, at the Wexner Center, so we'll have fun. And then we still have the post visit. So I'll talk to everybody later. Thank you for everything. Take care. Bye.